So, hello again, you guys. Thank you for joining me for my Woman Unleashed summer session. And yeah, I'm excited to do a bit of art with you guys surrounding the topic of taking action and having worked through some blocks in your life. So, if you haven't looked at the PDF yet, please pause your video right now and take a look at the PDF where you can work on an issue in your life that you're stuck on, should you choose to do so. And if you don't want to work on anything that you're stuck on, then you could just join me for a little art session in which I want to show you how I create cute little birds, and actually fairly straightforward little birds. So in front of you here you can see a cute little bird, and I wanted to do a bird for this particular session because to me they represent flight, taking action, that they're always busy. It's quite rare that you see a bird just sort of asleep. I know they sleep, but for me they represent sort of that action taking. And so it's like I'd like to embody the action taking plan that you may have made if you've done the PDF. If you haven't done the PDF once again, then you can just join me on this cute little birdie making session. So here's an example of the bird that I've done. Oh, here's another example of a bird I've done before, and another even more simple one. Where is it? Here we go. Is this one. It's also very cute. It's more like a robin. So what you'll need for this session is a journal or a loose sheet of watercolor paper preferably. I work on hot pressed, 140 pound in weight. You don't have to have watercolor paper, but it's definitely the best because it's thick and it will withstand any heavy watercolor ink or wet work. So I recommend that. And then from a materials perspective, I'll be working with Tombos. If you were part of the sessions from other sessions last year or the year before, I've been on these on Woman Unleashed before, and I like working with Tombow markers for inks, and I tend to use watercolor crayons as well. However, if you don't have these, you can also work with a simple set of watercolor paint. You don't have to go out and get these supplies. They're fairly pricey. And also, even if you have your kids' markers, can be quite fun to work with. So you can do this on a budget. You don't have to use all these expensive supplies. I'll also use a Posca pen, which is a black pen that I write with, but any kind of black write with and outline with and do dark accents with, but any other black pen, doesn't have to be. Posca again is also fine, and then a graphite pencil for drawing plus a maybe an eraser. I'm gonna work in my other journal. This one is a bit full now. If you're interested, this is a journal that I've done recently, and it's like a little travel journal. I've done quite a bit of travel recently, so I've been working with limited supplies in this. Not all finished, as you can see. This one is, I'm really liking this one. So let's get started. I like drawing with a Pentel, Graph Gear Pentel mechanical pencil, but any graphite pencil will do. And we're going to do a super simple bird shape. You do not have to do a complicated bird shape. So for bird shapes, I like doing really simple ones. So I often just have just make one shape. So I just do this. It's almost like a petal, like a flower petal. You see that? If you imagine more petals here, that's it. And then I tend to do a tiny little beak. And if you want a beak to sort of smile, by the way, just don't do that, but do that. Right? You can make it slightly, or you make it neutral. So that, very simple. And the cool thing about doing these little birdies, you can give them their own character by placing the individual facial features like eyes and whatever else. You can play around with where you place them. So you can put an eye really low, which is quite cute actually. Or you can make it higher. That makes more sense, as in, you know, not that this shape is realistic anyway. And then you add a wing to it. Now, a wing can be simple, just this, like this. Or in the case of my previous birds, I've kind of just gone and did a lot of actual feather shapes that became one wing. And you can choose to add a tail or not. And then legs are simple, kind of. And I do really simple, suggestive claws, like that. And here you have one very simple bird shape. And you can make it rounder or thinner or flatter. But really you're thinking just petal shape. You see, petal, but then slightly curved in that way maybe. Like the robin that I did. Whoops. What the shape was here. So the robin is also a super simple shape. The robin had more of an upright, rounder kind of, just a round sort of shape. And then the wing kind of came out really pronounced. And then it was just, there wasn't even like a head or anything. You just have, I like this one. And they have this sort of real sweet innocence to them. Innocence plays a big role in my artwork. I like cute characters like this bear. You know, really sweet, innocent characters. That's something that just speaks to me. For long, complicated reasons. So you can also just play with other shapes if you want to. You know, you can just do like a, I don't know, do this. So we're doing, the current one we're doing is side view, but if you wanted to do more, I have a class that many of you may be familiar with called quirky birds, where we're doing differently shaped birds. Anyway, that's not what we're going to do today. I was going to do a quirky bird, but then here you have like more of an owl, you see, from the front. That could be an owl from the front. But I want to do the sideways birdie. So the same shape that I just did could also become a sideways bird. Look. You see? Super easy. So we don't have to worry about realism. It's just super fun. You just create the shapes as you wanna, as you go. You can do like an eye like that. The other eye did just then just has this on it, so that's slightly more. I was going to really say realistic, but none of my stuff is realistic. Anyway, so I can't make this session too long because we kind of need to top it at 40 minutes. So part of this session may be time-lapsed, but I will put subtitles on if and when needed. When I think, oh, you guys really want to maybe know that, you know, how that works. Or I'll stop and make a comment on something. Because the other cool thing about this this type of stuff is that you want to really work with color. So here you can see that this is a nice effective little birdie because the color combination is really quite lovely. Oh, by the way, speaking of this, I'm just noticing here that I have also worked a bit with color pencils, by the way. So I like using Prismacolor pencils and Caran d'Ache luminance, these types. But any kind of color pencils that are not water soluble are also handy because you can do kind of cool shading with it and add some details to it. Anyway, so it's about color combinations and how to bring nice colors together. So this combination of color is really lovely. You've got a blue, a magenta, and a bright light pink, and a little bit of green, well, a teal really. This looks a bit greeny because it's been mixed. And orange, that's a good combination. And here I did a similar color scheme, as you can see. Just I placed them in different places. This is very summery and bright and happy. And what did I do with the robin? There's the robin here. So the robin has got a magenta and orange, also in a blue, but also has a darker brown because I think it was specifically really kind of going for a robin. But also think about color when you do these little birdies, and maybe choose 3 colors that go really well together. If you don't know which colors go really well together, have a quick look online and look for triadic color scheme options. Those are often really effective, particularly in art. So yeah, and now I'll stop talking and let's get started. Hey everyone, so I think I consider this sort of journal spread finished. I wasn't really planning on doing a sort of a double spread, but it happened because I got into it. So you can do it either way, right? However way it suits you. And yeah, so at this point I would probably still add a few more little bits, and like here there's a smudge here and I might lighten that up with this yellow or something, or I'd play. And I was going to say to you guys, you may want to add a word or an affirmation, something to support your action taking steps. So if, let's say, I don't know, there's all sorts of amazing like sentences or affirmations you can obviously bring in, but you could look specifically at the needs that you uncovered when you did the PDF steps, if you did them, and then make an affirmation of the need that was unmet. So in my example, I talk about going to the gym or doing art and being afraid of doing art. And the need underneath come out to be self-love or to matter, right? To matter, or a couple of other things. So if it's to matter, you could say I matter, or my voice matters, or whatever you need to hear, or whatever really will support you in taking these action steps to reach your goal of unblocking the issue that you've been working on. And you can also just say things like, I'm taking flight, I'm moving forward, I have courage, I am brave, any kind of affirmations that will help you on your way towards fulfilling or unblocking whatever you're struggling with, whatever you've been struggling with, whatever you've been working on. So yeah, so words could be added here or wherever. And then the last final thing I wanted to just point out is that I've been using these Prismacolor pencils. They're so yummy. They're very beautiful. If you were interested in pursuing art and stuff, then I do recommend them because they're very creamy and nice. I've been using them to sort of add shading around the head and in here in the tummy area as well, and in the legs. Oh yeah, and I didn't actually comment on this, but you may have noticed how I had done a purple tummy and I didn't like it, so I completely went over it with different colors and some white gesso. And you may have noticed that the annoying thing about these markers, is they're so potent and bright and vibrant that they seep through even gesso. So I kept the outline in the end, but just be aware that they are so insistent on sticking around. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed my session for A Woman Unleashed today, and if you did like what you saw, do please come and check me out. My name is Tamara Laporte from Willowing Arts. I run many art classes online, and I'd love to see you on any of my other courses. I also have a free gift available for you that you can access on my page. Yeah, and so enjoy that, and I hope to see you around. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. Bye bye.